Custodian, a short story, by M C Neuffer. Jeb did his best work after school, in the quiet time set for the deep cleaning permitted only in the children's absence. Jeb's tenure of watching generation after generation walk these halls and fill the classrooms in the 5 decades at this post was a needful and necessary one. He held memories of seeing the children file in on their first day, freshly emerged from the toddler stage, and being the last to see them leave as they were launched into the unknowns of early adulthood. Jeb was first and last every day, every year. It was the children. It was always about the children, ingrained in his being, his purpose to exist, never missing a day, not one in 52 years. Tasks completed, and the last rounds made. No children would return in the morning. Most had left the school several months earlier. The remaining 23 left today, accompanied by parents or those who stood in their place. Several students presented him with small gifts. A dozen brightly colored stickers from the first graders, a book of handwritten poems from the older ones, and photographs, stacks of images. Remembrances. One girl gifted her hair ribbon, now tied about Jeb's upper arm like a flag of surrender to events and goodbyes. Mars colonization had been a lofty goal, a reaching out, a shared but not totally unifying effort by mankind to seed the solar system as stepping stones to the stars. Only this one seed had been planted away from Earth's orbit. Mankind had dreamed of coming to Mars since 1877, when Schiaparelli used a primitive telescope to see the canali, followed by Burton's first sketches of the Martian features. Now, mankind was giving up, turning inward. Perhaps waiting for the future to make a faster approach, moving closer to deliver dreamed promises of interstellar flight before stepping outward again. Jeb held an indelible remembrance of his first day. He saw the Martian dawn breaking on the red sky horizon, blunt hills in the distance, and long shadowed stretches outlined in the weak yellow sunlight. A harsh but exciting place for men. This was a job well suited to Jeb, one involving high-frequency shrieks and laughter of the young ones, occasional tears from some, spills to clean up, occasional tussles among the older students, hours of cleaning, making the classrooms and hallways sparkle, and memories of carrying Robert Sanders to the medical station when he'd collapsed. Memories of those and thousands more. Today, once his rounds were completed, Jeb would have no further purpose, no other functions to perform, no one to serve or to watch over. Wait, Jeb thought, as he stood on the observation deck, looking at a landscape barely changed by human occupation. The Martian sunset turned the eastern hills a bright red-orange before a slow fade to rust-brown, before blackness overtook. Jeb raised his hand, reached, then paused for 3.6 seconds before turning off the exterior floodlights. Save power, part of his job. Turning toward his quarters in the maintenance area below the main floor of the school, he stepped through a doorway labeled Janitor Education Bot. Jeb's internal processors calculated estimations of how long before the Martian winds buried the school in red dust and drifting sand. Perhaps before the power failed was the answer. Tomorrow, Jeb would unplug and make his rounds. For the rest of his days.